We're live. We're here. It's
All
some
right,
of us.
stop looking at Facebook.
Yeah, right. Hey, Facebook. We're
Actually, I was looking at Twitter. I just saw that they're going to be doing a new Joker movie with Jared Leto, who was in Suicide Squad as the Joker, and he's one of my favorite actors. He's very, very good.
Oh, okay.
And so interesting. Anyway, yeah, just the two of us tonight.
Well, you're just saying that makes me think. Isn't there a lot of talk about how this splintering of Star Wars didn't go too well? I'm wondering, is this close enough to something if you keep splintering it at all?
I don't know. I really liked Suicide Squad. I thought it was really good. So,
was that a comic book?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I don't have a background in where the history of these things.
And I had not. There's so many movies right now are being made from comic books that it's kind of the go-to medium for new storylines.
Well, the whole Marvel,
Hollywood's kind of dead.
All the Marvel stuff, obviously, comic book related.
Right, exactly.
I guess, and I haven't seen Infinity Wars yet. I guess I'm the person left.
Yeah.
But my thought, I didn't read the comics. So, yeah. But my thought was, if you wondered what happened in the movie, didn't it already happen in the comic? Because the whole series is this is already all played out.
It depends because sometimes they'll take license. Like, for example, The Walking Dead is a comic book.
Oh.
And the comic book is probably 5 years ahead of where the story's at. So, at least. I don't know exactly on it, but it's way ahead of it. So it's interesting to see how that works out. They've actually strayed way far away from the comic books. There's people in the show that were never in the comic book. There's people that are there that should have been dead. There's people that are dead that should have been alive. So it's just they take a little bit of free license as they go and make some adjustments. And I'm sure it's all contractually based. Where's Isaac when you need him, right?
Well, he's right here.
So
he joined the group.
Did he join in and
so
watch?
He can't be here.
Can't be here, but he's
watching.
Dude, seriously.
So
nice.
So maybe he can chime in as he sees appropriate.
Yeah. So I think that's all contractual as far as how closely they have to stay to the comic book versus how much they can get away with.
I think in a weekly show, you've got to have more liberty because you would have plowed through the material in the comic book in no time.
Not really, because they had a really good with The Walking Dead. They're really well established before the TV show came out. So
I guess I didn't realize
because realistically, I don't know what I almost want to go back and I like it because it allows me to say I'm going to go back someday and read the comic book. Because there's so much of it that's different or it's, going a different direction. And so I'm interested to see how that works and kind of where that's going.
So that was kind of that tease before the intro credits. So this is Tips from the Bar.
Oh, yeah. This is what we're here for, CCSK Law. Welcome
we're our weekly foray into sometimes law stuff.
And sometimes comics books.
Right. So it's Kurt, RG, Isaac, remote,
on
watching
location.
Online.
He'll chime in as he can.
We'll see if he adds any comments. And thanks to Jenny Craig for checking in with us.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Jenny Craig.
Jenny Craig?
I said that, I was thinking I got her name wrong. But
She's so
Jenny
awesome.
Craig Brown.
Yeah, we love Jenny Craig.
She's
coolness.
She's awesome.
She ups our cool factor by 50, so we're good.
They're the awesome folks at Valpo Life. Who I ran into Chris Smallman today. I hadn't seen him in a while. He's, I'm sure, in recovery from all things graduation, as the whole staff, I'm sure, is.
I can't imagine how hectic this time of year is for them.
Well, and that's
because they do the high schools too. So they got high schools
they got and all the sports stuff that's going on. You had college graduation earlier this month, and then at VU graduation a couple of weeks ago. You had all the regional, sectional, spring sports going on, and then graduation started a week or so ago, and now I don't know if they're all done or if there's more still this weekend. I don't know.
I would imagine they're pretty close.
Yeah. So they cover ground. They cover a lot of ground, and they take up a ton of space in the World Wide Web with photos. So
they do.
In fact, my wife watched the Valpo High School graduation.
Really?
I think streams back through Valpo Life.
Oh, that is so
cool. If not, I'm giving them credit because they've done it in the past.
Yeah.
So we didn't have anybody graduating. My daughter played for the graduation, and then came home and watched the actual graduation that they had outside this year.
Excited to be a sophomore, so she's going to be going on here this next year to be a sophomore. It's a transition year.
Mine will be a junior.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
My freshman in college is back from India. And
how was that? What'd she have to say about it? She nonstop talking about
it? It was a lot. I think they're just there was a lot.
Was that
of
her
things
first
that
time
are
out of the
just-
country?
No, because she went to Spain and she went to Peru last year.
Okay.
She's still a little world traveler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
But
India's a little more intense, I think. A little different.
I mean, Peru has its own things that she experienced. The culture, I think, the indigenous people. India is huge.
Yeah.
It's just gigantic. And the concentration of people where there are people is really, really thick.
Yeah.
But then even just like things you see on the street wouldn't be things you see ever here.
Like what? Oh, there's a story there.
Right. So like you have vehicles of all sorts and animals all in the road.
Oh, wow.
And like she said, we were talking yesterday, like they don't have sort of sanitation concepts like we do. So streets are full of trash and tons of dust, lots of dirt, not a lot of pavement.
Sure.
But she was up north. It's super hot in the north. She's sort of in central, and she went to Calcutta, and then she went to Cochin, which is where it's lush and green, and they grow tea.
Oh, wow.
I forgot that they grow tea in India. I'm like, wow, why all the tea pictures? Oh, yeah. Tea is kind of a popular. It kind of drove a whole trade for a while.
Right.
Between spices and tea. It was a fairly important trade route development. So, yeah, she's back. I think she's home for a couple weeks before she goes on a mission trip. So actually, I just got a text from my family. They're all headed to the beach. So we're gonna watch the sunset, nice. And I think it should be a big wave night because we've had this north wind blowing down the lake.
Like a 20-degree drop in temperature.
It's crazy again.
We were going to be outside this week.
Yeah,
and we had this planned.
No
we
shirt.
Very excited. No,
no shirt. No jacket. I did not do that to you. But no jacket. I did not have a jacket.
That's how we go inside because there's no shoes.
I almost had to warm up my cider just to help on the chilly walk over. So I was meeting with a client right before this. That's one of the reasons, just a couple minutes late. And the experience was a very common experience, and I wanted to share with people. And actually, it's a client that we both may end up working with. But I met with the children of the mother a week or so ago, and they came in with just a massive amount of confusion about what do we do. Was that? Did you read that?
I did. It was a group message to us from Lindsay.
Oh, okay.
So I'll respond, but you continue to tell your story.
So they came in just asking questions. They're concerned about mom's health. They're concerned about and her health's okay now, but there's signs that it might start to fall off a little bit. They're concerned about some other things going on financially and such, and so there's immediate concern and I get, people really don't know what they're responsible for.
Okay.
So could a child be eventually tagged to be responsible for the finances of a parent?
This is actually we went through this with my dad. And so I'm very intimate with this experience and understanding what this is about.
Right. So, but it's a big concern. I mean, what am I going to be responsible for, if at all? And believe me, creditors will make you think that you are. But there's that question. There's concern about what can they do to help take care of mom in the best way, work through the situations that she's in. And so we talked through a number of things. But I said, this is all well and good, and I don't mind telling you all sorts of things. I can do nothing until we talk to mom.
Right.
And so I said, take the information that we have talked, and I want you to go talk with her.
Yeah.
And if she's willing to come back in and sit down and we can all have this collective conversation, then there are some things we can do legally, and there's some guidance that we can give to sort of move forward. So tonight was the meeting with mom and 2 daughters and son-in-law, and I could feel there was some trepidation in mom even after that conversation. And I explained, kind of my approach to trying to help people and why they need some documents in place while they can still put documents in place.
Sure.
But I could still see there was questions. There were still some issues.
Yeah.
And so I just said, and what it boils down to was things that she has heard.
This is the old the person at the bar is talking.
Yeah, exactly. But it's things that you've heard, and you don't want that to happen to you. And I will tell you, one of the most common things that is out there, it does happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, but one of the biggest fears that an aging parent has is if I sign a piece of paper, my kids are going to take all my money and they're going to throw me in a nursing home and I'm going to have nothing to say about it. That was exactly what her concern was. Maybe not to that, not that
but
she didn't
along
trust her
those
kids.
lines.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm getting, and what hers boiled down to is I'm giving up all control.
That was my dad felt the same way. He would never have signed anything, and he was on his own to the end because he didn't want to risk anything. He thought that would happen. It's like, that's not how this works.
I told her I was so happy she was able to express that because that's a hard thing to say.
But you know, this is where it's good for you to come in and talk and allow her to open up like that, because then you get to the heart of it and you can deal with it.
Right. So what I was able to
normally
express
that stays underneath and never comes
they
out.
just don't want to do it, and the more you talk about it, the more angry it gets. You know, the more contentious it gets.
Sure.
So, you've heard me say this so many times, and it is a drum I can't bang enough. That powers of attorney are there to help you, not hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I will not say that they've never been used
negatively, sure.
But the rules are such that if someone does improperly use a power of attorney, there are laws on the books that can be exercised to protect the person who granted the authority.
Right.
Conversely, people put kids' names on account, kids' names on property.
That's different.
That's a totally different situation, and the risk is much higher in that situation because in our world these days, that appears to the world that child is an owner of that account, and if the child takes $10,000 off or $10,000 and goes on a vacation or spending spree, there's very, very little that can be done.
Right.
Whereas with a power of attorney, if the person took that $10,000 with a power of attorney, there are legal ramifications that are legal recourse that can be put in place to either get the money back or criminal charges, which nobody wants to do, but you can. Certainly civil charges to get that back. And so we spent a lot of time trying to talk through that and trying to phrase it in a way that gives her some comfort and that she understands it. And she was very honest to say that she just doesn't understand, and it's even hard for her to express what she doesn't understand. Mm-hmm. And then again, this goes back to everything we've ever experienced, any of us at any time, where you feel like you're the only one that doesn't understand. And so now I don't want to be the one to bring it up.
I don't want to talk about
it.
My
kids understand this far better than I do, and I don't really understand. I don't really understand what I don't understand. And so what I said was, your kids didn't understand it last week when I was talking to them. Right. And now they had a better understanding because they were able to ask some questions and get some information, and we were able to talk through it.
Now it's your turn.
So we spent, I would say we spent an hour really just hashing through what her concerns were and why they were absolutely valid, but also why
you can protect against that a little bit
would help to alleviate those things. I would say the big thing that people need to understand, especially in Indiana, is that powers of attorney do not give a unilateral power to the person to sign the capacity to just run amok.
Right.
Their actions have to be, there's a term we learned
fiduciary responsibility.
There's fiduciary responsibility, but you are acting as you're in the shoes of the other person.
Right.
Nothing you're doing is on your own benefit. It is for the benefit of the person for whom you're acting. So that, but again, that's still hard to grasp because you've heard this story for so long, and
because people only talk about the horror stories. Right. They don't talk about, everything went smooth. It's some rotten kid went nuts and took everything and ran away, so they can't be found. I mean,
and so that's what I'm saying. It's not that it never happens.
Sure.
But it doesn't happen far more than it does.
I think, I think it's a compounding issue. You run into people that are entering that stage of life.
Yeah.
And it feels like everything's being taken away from you.
Yeah.
People question, can you drive? Maybe you shouldn't have a driver's license. Can you live on your own? Maybe you need help. Maybe you need somebody to take care of you. And I think that especially for people that have had enough drive and enough self-confidence and enough wherewithal in their life to build something of their own,
right,
to have some money set aside that when it comes to that point, it's like, no. It's
Yeah.
a challenge almost to say, no, I'm going to fight this.
And again, that
so
thing
it
in
makes
the
it
back of your
hard.
mind is you've heard the bad stories. I think
Sure.
that's a good way to put it, because you feel like you're almost being punished because you're losing.
Yeah.
You're losing control.
Yeah.
And as I kind of walked them through, I mean, that driving is sort of the first giant hurdle that's either kids address or a doctor will say, look,
or the
it's
insurance
not safe
companies
for you
when
to
they won't
drive.
insure you anymore because you hit too many people.
Yeah, and so that's a big one, because that's such a major role, plays a major role in independence.
It's freedom.
Yep,
it really is.
So that's a huge give up, and so now you're beholden to everybody to get around, and so it's such a hard thing. But then as I was explaining sort of this, and again, I'm not a doctor, I don't really even play one on TV. But as I've seen this happen, as I've worked with different clients, you do have that sort of first thing is the car, and then you may have a pre-diagnosis of, or a diagnosis of pre-dementia, or starting to see some things happening. But even with that, you don't give up all control. You want to make sure that during that period of time you get things in place, so when it does happen, you don't have to go through guardianship. I reference the fact that we don't do a ton of adult guardianships.
Right.
Part of it's by design. Yeah. Because they're a mess. It's
especially if you have competing interests. If everybody's on board with the plan and it's together, they're not that bad.
But even at the end of the day, you're now taking to the public square. Everything that could have been done. No doubt. And it's expensive and time consuming. And so
complete invasion.
Yeah, absolutely. So the person who didn't want to give up any authority is now being brought into court to be questioned, and that's going to be demeaning. So now there's a person you don't even know who's asking you questions about your competence and is going to make a judgment about your competence. And that really is a different cutoff point, because if a guardian's appointed, you lose control.
But in Indiana, we do. There's a doctor's letter that we get for the doctor, basically, because in Indiana you have to be declared incapacitated, and so they will go ahead and have a doctor's letter to say that. So if they have a doctor that says that smooths that out a little bit. It still depends, like I said, if the person's okay with it and they're like, no, I don't want to, I can't do this anymore, or I know I'm losing ground, that's easier. And if they sign a consent, that's easier. But if you got somebody that's a little feisty anyway and just like, no, I'm doing my own thing, it's a nightmare. And you're right, it's the public, not public shaming, but the public airing of the grievances. Everything goes out there and everybody gets to know it all.
And I'm not saying everybody goes and reads every public record that's out there, but it's in the public record.
They could.
I mean, everything's going to come out, your finances, your health, and all those things. And it's worse, obviously, if there's any sort of contention, because now you've got that out there too. Yeah. And then potentially court-appointed people to go investigate the situation. I mean, it can really get bad.
Guardian ad litem's come into play. There's all different kinds of things.
So just, I don't want to oversimplify it, but it is so much better to get the decision-making in place while you can, and who you want to be in place.
Right.
There may be people that you don't want to be in the decision-making process. So it allows you to stay in control during that process. As I tell people, powers of attorney, properly prepared powers of attorney, will keep you out of the guardianship position. It's not 100%. Nothing's 100%. But there have to be a real big hurdle to overcome to require guardianship.
The other thing with the power of attorney is it's easily revoked.
Yeah, if it
comes down to it. And I think I think the people that I've dealt with, that I know of, that have had powers of attorney, once they grasp that concept, they feel a lot more comfortable with it. So it's like at any minute, I can stop this like that. I have control to stop this.
Yes.
And that seems to help a little bit. But a lot of people don't realize they can't. They think, once I sign this, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah. It is definitely something that as I told the people I was meeting with, after I met with the kids, there's no requirement that they came back to meet me again, bring her back. But, and I think we all have this approach with our law firm is, while we love to have clients who pay, that's great. I'm not going to deny the fact that
we've been a lot. We need it.
But the reality is, I feel better. And I told her I wanted her to ask all the questions because I need her to make an educated decision.
Right.
I need her to be comfortable with what she says for me to put on paper.
Right.
and why she put it on paper. So, you know, as I said, if I could stand on the street corner and just help people understand the process better so they can make better decisions, some number of those people are going to continue to engage me to do the work where they actually pay. But
should put together a little video course like that with like 10 videos and
Right.
walk through and then sell it for $25 a pop.
yeah, there's,
Online.
but even just having those things would be a good resource. But I think, you know, the meeting I had earlier today was just, I mean, I needed to provide somebody information so they knew how to take the next step.
Yeah, right.
And that's what I did with the kids last week. And if if the mom tonight would have said, I just can't get comfortable with this,
So
we would have walked away.
Yeah.
And I would hope that she would have taken away enough information where if she slept on it, spent a couple of days, talked with her a little
Right.
bit more, that she would have gotten it done, whether with me or with somebody else. I really, as I said to them, I have enough faith in my faith that I haven't been brought here to fail.
Right.
And there are some number of people who my role in their life is going to be just to educate them, give them information and move forward. And
We do that a lot at our firm.
That's what I'm saying. Our firm,
That's
we are
part
not
of-
shy about
No, that's something that we do. We believe heavily in education. We believe in helping you have information to be able to make a decision about what direction to go.
Well, I reference the fact that, you know, you do, amongst the things that you do, bankruptcy work, and there have been times where someone's come in dead set on doing bankruptcy, and just through conversation, you work up to the fact that that's not the right option for you.
Yeah, well,
And it's not like you're charging them $1,000 to come to that decision,
No.
and you're not forcing them into bankruptcy to pay a bunch of money.
yeah.
So-
and, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, sometimes with bankruptcy, people, out of exasperation of just being done dealing with it,
Yeah.
I think I have to declare bankruptcy. And you know what? A lot of times they do, and that's great. I'd be happy to help them with it. But you know, sometimes when you kind of sift through the pile of paperwork and you get it organized and you look at it and you go, oh, well, this is where all the cash is coming in, and this is how the cash goes out. There's enough to do this. We can work with this.
Or there's more equity in the home than make
Or
it
there's
work
more
for you.
around. They can get
Yeah.
do some sort of a loan or something like that. You know, there's different options. Sometimes it's a decision that, you know, you need to sell your house and downsize. It's a good time to downsize. Good time to take a little of that equity out and cover some of the debts. And
Yeah.
you know, there's things like that. So,
But it goes back. My point in saying that was, we don't charge $200 to sit down with us. I mean,
No.
I don't know how many times Isaac has had meetings with people, and the people are like, "Wow, we had to pay $200 just to set up an appointment with somebody."
don't
else."
abuse it.
Yeah, but
Don't abuse it. But you know,
But by the
that's
same token, we would rather help start the process to help you understand and earn your business going forward. We want you to be comfortable with us
right.
and understand what your options are, and then we can serve you in that way.
And that's the point, is that you have issues that need to be dealt with that an attorney could help with, but it might be necessary, might not be necessary to have an attorney. It might be necessary to go to court. It might be necessary to do bankruptcy. It might be necessary to do powers of attorney. You know, you don't know until you take that first step. And what we find, and what we've always talked about, is that a lot of times it's hard for people to take that first step in talking to an attorney to find out actual facts.
Right.
Because they're fearful of, oh, it's going to cost me $10,000.
Exactly.
Where we'd rather have you give us a call and say, yeah, I kind of don't know what I'm doing. I need to look at this. What are my options? You know, we can spend a little time with you on the phone, get you a little rundown, maybe spend time with you in person on it. And then you'll have a better understanding of what your options are and where to go.
Well, I think even we were talking about this in the office the other day, you know, you can vet a problem with like a family law situation. You can talk with them on the phone for 15, 20 minutes. And then they have enough information to decide it's worth both of your times to sit down and actually start this process.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
means, you know, they may call another place and leave a message, and
I mean, the number,
have
you
to
know,
have, I mean, it's just,
that comes back to the whole answering the phone and actually talking with people thing.
though we do now have somebody who's answering some of our phone calls.
Hey, it's
with Lindsay.
nice.
We
she's
really,
awesome.
our little firm is
Stepping up.
launching. You know, we've got people now.
We got people. We
We've
do.
got Lindsay is working there, so we actually have office hours. Like if people
Yeah.
have to stop by, we're whether
9
one
to
of
1,
us is there
9 to
or
1,
not.
Monday
we're
or
open 9
Friday.
to 1,
Someone's always there.
Monday through Friday. We have an intern this
It's the
summer.
first time in 2 years that we've had that, actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Put 2 and 2 together.
Our hours before were just, well, someone is either there or not.
Yeah, you got to, I mean, basically before it's been by appointment. So
Yeah.
somebody's got to call and schedule something. And now
Which
we have
wasn't
actual-
usually a problem, but we have more, like, there's people that stop by and pick something up, or they're stopping by and drop something off.
Yeah.
As we work with more people, there's just some things that have to happen.
Right.
And so that was a commitment that it was hard.
Yeah.
We're a small business. We're coming up. We have to make commitments to these things. And Lindsay was doing some work on the side for us with some things and worked out. And so we made that commitment to the 9 to 1 and Monday through Friday. And then, like I said, we have an intern this summer, Kirsten Airy, who's working on a research project.
She's got her nose in the ground. I mean, she's out there. She's just typing away.
I mean, I cut her loose on some really exciting research.
Take a breath.
Yeah,
take a breath.
It's been great for us. She's also interning at the probate court over in Lake County. So she's having a good summer of experience. So as she gets ready to enter her third year of law school. So it's we're clicking right along there.
Moving and clicking.
It's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, our goal, everything that we do, we're driven to try to make the legal experience more approachable, more understandable.
A lot of people, and just speaking of approachable, so I've had a couple people I met with in the last two weeks or so that have both said, well, we came across your name, and then we saw your Facebook Live thing, and we watched a couple of the videos, and you just seemed comfortable.
Yeah.
And so you guys seem like you're having fun, so we thought we'd give you a call. So this is designed to help that. This is exactly what this is designed to do.
That's what this is for. That's what people go, how many leads do you get from this? I go, it's absolutely not about leads. This is totally about people getting to know us a little bit, understand that we're casual. I mean, this is literally how I dress in the office.
I wore this today.
In the office. If I'm in a coat and or tie, it's only because I have to go into court, not just to the courthouse, but into court.
Right.
We just try.
I can stop by the clerk like this.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, and I can stop into court and drop something off, pick something up, or go by the clerk's office.
Right.
But I think as we talk about finding ways to lower hurdles, that's really our goal, is to just get the stuff that would keep people from getting legal help. Get those out of the way, and let's just get to that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
The other client I met with today is another great example of that. A person receives a demand letter that makes no sense to her. It seems completely like this isn't even possibly an issue.
Right.
But there's this respond in 60 days or else thing.
Right.
And fortunately, she responded in plenty of time for us to be able to put something together. But we spent an hour talking through the scope of it, what our options are, and then we kind of said, here's A, B, and C, and we're going to work on answering the demand letter and putting some stuff together. So again, there's where the engagement starts. I told her that exactly. I said, the reason we do what we do is so you could get to this spot. So now when you say, yes, I want to work with you, it's because you know where we're going to go.
Well, and that's the thing, and I want to make sure people understand too, because we will talk with you on the phone, and occasionally we'll meet with you where we can do like a free consultation and talk with it. But there are times when we meet with you that we bill you. It does happen. But you'll know about it before you get you build, and it's because there's times like with family law issues, I can talk with somebody over the phone a little bit, and I can assess where it's at. And then hey, if you want to come in and talk to me, it's fine, but that's going to be a pay situation.
Right. So now we're going into the actual legal representation.
We're going into a legal conversation about here. This is what you should do. This is the recommendation. This is your situation. This is what you need. You either need to do this or you don't. That's going to be your decision. This is your option. This is where you go. There's times when you can get more in depth like that, when there is going to be a charge in the future.
But again, you're going to know it when you come in that meeting.
But by all means, never hesitate to make a phone call and ask, because that won't cost you just to call up and say, hey, this is what's going on. What do I need to do? We can at least give you a little basic guidance about where to go, and sometimes we get carried away and give more than basic guidance. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So
that's
anyway, it's actually time.
That's what I try to do. Yeah, we burned up in the evening. Got started a couple minutes late because I was running late coming over.
That's all right.
But again, we touched on the bankruptcy thing. You've got a downloadable.
Yes. You can go to. I got two different websites that you can check out. If you have questions or thoughts on bankruptcy, you can go to IndianaBankruptcyCenter.com, or you can go to Northwest Indiana Bankruptcy. I think that's
Northwest or Northern.
Northern Indiana. Yeah, Northern Indiana Bankruptcy.
Northern Indiana Bankruptcy.
That's the one I had our buddies putting together for me. So they've been handling that one, so I didn't know that one as much. NorthernIndianaBankruptcy.com. Either one would work, and you can put your email in there and get the download for free. It's a little PDF ebook about chapter 7s and 13s and what's the difference, and has some information things to consider, thought processes to make, that kind of thing.
Yep.
There's next steps there if you want to try to contact me through our website. It's CCSKLaw.com. All of us, if you want to enter a question, there's comment sections and questions there to tag in. Yep. Nobody else can see them. It comes right to our email, and we'll either respond by email or phone. I've had a couple this week that have
the client I just met,
they went through that.
They popped the contact form, we got it, we set up a time to meet, and then that's how it works. So whatever's comfortable for you. If you're a phone person, call us. If you're an email person or a form filling person, that'll work too. And whether you're on a phone visiting our website or on your laptop or desktop. Do people have desktops still?
They do. There are some out there. I think there are. Yeah. We're just more advanced at our office. We all have laptops.
We all take our stuff with us wherever we go. But anyway, so reach out to us and let us know how we can help you. CCSKLaw.com is a great place to start. There's great resources of information on there. If you just want to poke around and see some of those things, you can visit our Facebook site. Our videos
I'm going to tease it. We are going to be making some changes to CCSKLaw.com, try to make it a little bit more user-friendly for you. So that's coming in the next few months, I would say.
I think it's less than that.
It's probably even less than that, but
probably in a few weeks.
It's very exciting with where it's going. I feel like we've stumbled upon an idea that you don't see out there that I think is going to be great.
But and again, that's part of us growing.
Absolutely,
experiencing things with clients, and how can we help other people in the same situation?
Yep.
So we're going to revamp the website. So, we're excited about that. We're working with folks at Barbold on that, which they've been super helpful.
They've been great.
Dealing with our craziness, because we're not tech people. We just throw a bunch of stuff at. Why can't you do this? Why can't you do this?
What about this?
Yeah.
And they're like, we can figure a way to make that happen.
Kick the stuff out that doesn't work and work with the stuff that does. So we'll drive Chris and Molly crazy, and Sarah's doing some good work.
They're good. They're good people. They do a great job. So.
But again, in the meantime, either way, the address is the same: CCSKLaw.com. Give us a visit there. Drop a note. Call us at 230-3600, and we would love to help you with your legal issue. Kurt. Yep. RG and
Isaac
online. Who didn't? I didn't see him chip in with anything. So.
No, I think he was on for a little bit and then had to bolt. But
that's what I thought he was going to add to the conversation.
Next week, weather pending, we will try to be outside.
Nice. We've been outside.
We were outside here a couple
times. Yeah. Oh, you were last week.
Yeah. We were inside.
Yeah. So anyway, great evening. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful evening, y'all.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.